We are the voices.
You are with the captain.
It's Mr. Midday.
12 new major news.
The big station.
The morning show.
Your number one song.
The Faces.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight.
This is exactly what you're talking about.
What an upset it was.
The Storytellers.
They are actually using the pepper spray.
Police are aware of this theory.
The water is 3,500 meters deep.
The tax climbs up to 12.5%.
The window on our community.
We bring you the best in U.S. television entertainment.
And the greatest sporting events in the world.
A brilliant performance of Duffy.
We are the island's only Bermudian-owned broadcaster of both television and radio.
With the only TV channels that are available over the air in beautiful high definition, completely free.
We are always expanding.
We are always innovating.
And most important, we're always your station.
This is Bermuda Broadcasting.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, August the 6th, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Parliament is set to debate the findings of a joint select committee looking into establishing a living wage in Bermuda. It was in 2013 when the People's Campaign raised the issue, and now Reverend Nicholas Tweed, one of the principals behind that campaign for equality, jobs, and justice, is cautiously optimistic and hoping the report does not simply lead to a minimum wage. Tarai Trott spoke to the Reverend recently.
They might not know who we are.
When you think of the Grassroots People's Campaign, you might recall their public awareness campaigns over the controversial airport deal, workers' rights, and the failed government Pathways to Status initiative, among others.
I am cautiously optimistic.
Lately, the campaign has its eye on the Joint Select Committee report on establishing a living wage in Bermuda. Reverend Nicholas Tweed, one of the campaign leaders, welcomes the impending debate on the report by the House of Assembly. He was keen on explaining the difference between a living wage and a minimum wage.
A minimum wage is a minimum amount that you're saying workers need to earn in order to accumulate a decent wage. So, for example, if you determine that a minimum wage is, say, $7 an hour, you can earn $7 an hour and work a 40 to 60-hour week and still not really have a living income, whereas a livable wage speaks to a much broader issue. And in some ways, I have some regret over the nomenclature, because I think that instead of talking about a living wage, we should really be talking about a livable income.
While the Reverend is optimistic, he warns that if Parliament ultimately enacts a minimum wage, it won't work.
In order for that not to take place, because the People's Campaign's position has been, this is not just a wage issue, which means that whatever standards are established as far as livable wages are concerned, that those policy initiatives have to work in tandem or have to be synchronized with the restructuring of the tax system. You have to have the reduction of health care costs and insurance costs.
The structure the People's Campaign envisions would not place the responsibility at the sole feet of employers.
You can't expect business owners, small or large, but in particular small business owners, to shoulder the burden of keeping up with the cost of living. A livable income or living wage has to be done in tandem with other things that are done so that you're reducing the gap that impacts the cost of living.
Financial professional Nathan Kowalski, in speaking to the Royal Gazette, urged that there was still work to be done as far as businesses were concerned. He said it is important to see what effect a living wage would have on jobs and employment, and he said retailers and members of the hospitality industry are the major areas that need to be consulted at the very least. Here's Reverend Tweed's response.
Well, my understanding is that during the testimony part of the Joint Select Committee's work, that they did in fact invite the Chamber of Commerce and representatives from various groups to provide testimony and have input at that level. But part of the other question that is not being raised by people like Brother Nathan Kowalski is he has absolutely no problem with some of the same people he's talking about exploiting labor for unlivable wages. So the question then becomes, you have no problem with people working for wages they can't live off of, but you have a problem with the people who are exploiting labor being held accountable and being forced to participate in creating a more equitable process.
Our newsroom reached out to Mr. Kowalski for a comment on this story, but was not able to obtain one at this time. Well, you might have had the Cup Match blues today after the long holiday weekend, but we have just the antidote in a special report later in the newscast. Ian Rollins and James Barboza captured all the sights and sounds of Cup Match 2018. You're in for a treat, so stay tuned for that. In other news, a man has been charged with the rape of a woman in 1988. Jasmine Patterson has the details from Magistrates Court.
The 53-year-old man, who cannot be identified for legal reasons, was not required to enter a plea as the charge is indictable and must be heard in the Supreme Court. The offense was alleged to have occurred on a date unknown between September 1st and October 1st, 1988. The Pembroke man is ordered to appear at the September arraignment session and was bailed in the amount of $10,000 with a like surety. He must also report to the Hamilton Police Station weekly as part of bail conditions and have no contact with the victim. Elsewhere, an American cruise ship visitor was fined $2,000 for importing cannabis and drug equipment. 46-year-old Randolph Knight of Atlanta, Georgia, pleaded guilty to importing 10.86 grams of cannabis, THC cartridges, possessing a plastic grinder, and a rubber smoking pipe on August 1st this year. The court heard the couple's luggage was searched on departing the Norwegian Escape cruise ship at Heritage Wharf, when customs found a box containing plant-like material, 3 vape cartridges, and a glass pipe. He admitted the bag belonged to him. They also found an extra battery and a cartridge inside his shoe. A canine unit searched his cabin, where they found an orange pipe to be fitted with the glass tip found in his suitcase. He presented customs with a medical marijuana card and a doctor's certificate indicating he uses cannabis products for pain management. Apologizing to the court, Knight said, quote, "I was woefully ignorant of the laws here. I'm not a criminal where I live, but I'm very sorry." Magistrate Kamisi Tacumbo fined him $1,500 for importing cannabis, $300 for importing the cannabis oil, and $200 for the drug equipment. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, Romano Mills, one of 4 men in prison for gang-related double murder 5 years ago, has lost an appeal of his conviction. Reggae star Hailey Outerbridge and Rico Verbert were gunned down inside the Belvin's Variety Store on Happy Valley Road in January 2013. The Crown's case was that Levesque Roberts was the shooter and that Garrico Benjamin and Mills were present at the scene as aiders and abettors. Christophe Dewar, who provided the gun, was convicted after the trial in 2015 of premeditated murder, but the conviction was reduced to being an accessory after the shooting. Mills' lawyer lost the appeal, which argued that the jury should not have heard evidence from Dewar, but the Court of Appeal found that the jury had been properly warned about the nature of his evidence, ruling, quote, "It was a matter for the jury to decide whether they accepted or rejected his evidence," end quote. Mills is serving a minimum of 35 years on murder and gun charges. We'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
I've been diabetic for 13, 14 years.
People develop type 2 diabetes over a number of years.
People can lose their sight. There are other people who have lost their limbs through amputations. There are many people who are on dialysis, and you're at increased risk for things like strokes and heart disease.
I had fears that I would have a heart attack, or I would have a stroke, or I would lose limbs or lose my eyesight. The program Diabetes Reversal has made me really realize that it's a lifestyle change.
The program is designed so that the patient can learn to take control of the disease instead of this disease taking control of you.
I feel so good. I feel like I've been given a second chance.
It's not a crash course, it's not a diet course, it doesn't involve supplements or pills or anything like that.
Just take that leap of faith and know that there is a way without medication.
I invite you to take the first step on the journey of the Diabetes Reversal Program here at the Premier Health and Wellness Center.
Fresh Breath Dental is more than a dental office. It's a community dental office with wheelchair access, scholarship opportunities, community day free extractions, plus savings opportunities with $25 off through BIU and BPSU and referral award, and an $80 teeth cleaning as part of our transitional program. Because we believe when the community benefits, we all benefit, as a healthy mouth is a healthier you. So don't delay. Call 433-6825 or email info@fbdl.bm to schedule your appointment today at Fresh Breath Dental in the Cedar Park Center, Hamilton.
Welcome back. Joy, laughter, music, sunshine, and friendship, along with some spectacular cricket. Cup Match 2018 had it all. Somerset may have dominated on the field, but it seemed everyone, even the die-hard blue and blue fans, had a good time. Our Ian Rollins was there, as always, and accompanied this year by videographer James Barboza. Enjoy.
The 116th Annual Cup Match Classic got underway with great anticipation. The weather conditions were favorable for both teams. Cup holder Somerset Cricket Club won the toss and went to bat first.
As the Commanders, Cup Match is a big thing in Bermuda. What does it mean to you and your family?
Cup Match is the best holiday of the year, along with Christmas. Good friendship. We shouldn't forget what it's really about, emancipation, but everybody comes together, have a good time, watch the cricket.
First of all, welcome to Bermuda, and this is your first time to Cup Match. What do you think about Cup Match?
It's pretty cool. I mean, this is the first time I've come here. It's just a big party. I don't really know that much about cricket, so I'm just hanging out, you know, doing my own thing.
Cup Match every year. What does Cup Match mean to you?
I get to see my good friend Charles Wilson every year, but I don't get to see him all the time.
What Cup Match means to me is that it's a time for us to come together as a people, but sometimes we get lost in the fact that it's about emancipation, about our freedom, it's about building Bermuda up. Today I'm here to support Somerset, but I want to see St. George's do extremely well as well, because at the end of the day it's about all of us.
And I think every year they try to add a new twist to it to make the game get a little more exciting. And that's what it's about, because a lot of people come for the cricket, but a lot of people really come because it's a place to be. Is your team doing well?
No, my team's having a hard time right now, but it's all good, because they'll still be my team. We ain't lose straw.
I came all the way back from Texas so I could see St. George's give Somerset licks.
But that's not happening right now.
It ain't happening right now.
So this is Bermuda, all about Bermuda. I mean, if you look at the 2 days, it's one day it's emancipation, next day it's the discovery of Bermuda, and in all, it's Bermudians from all walks of life come together and enjoy themselves around a game of cricket, which can be serious too. I can't miss it. As a Bermudian who bleeds red, and as a sportsman who loves it, and at 60 I still want to play it.
But I love this place. There's no better place than Bermuda. In my heart, love it.
What does Cup Match mean to you over the next 2 days?
So Cup Match to me is obviously all about emancipation. I feel like every single black Bermudian should be out here celebrating our emancipation.
The 116th Annual Cup Match Classic has come to an end. Congratulations to Sums Cricket Club winning 2-1 against challenger St. George's. Reports are the last time Sums won 2-1 was in 1948. Next year, 2019, it will be the 117th annual edition. All roads leads to the East End, with St. George's Cricket Club being the host. On behalf of Bermuda Broadcasting Company, along with my videographer, James Barboza, I'm Ian Rollins reporting.
Wonderful recap of a wonderful event. Turning to weather news, a few showers possible for our Tuesday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have a big area of low pressure way to the east, almost 1,000 miles to our east. We're going to keep an eye on this. It's probably not going to become a true tropical system, but it is a system that has potential. It's not purely a tropical low at this point. But it is dictating our weather in some form because there's a broad area of flow from the northwest behind us. That's kind of pulling things that are off to our north a little bit closer. So this next boundary, it's a weak front, is going to be drawn a little closer because of that system way, way off to the east. There may be even a few spotty showers that accompany this little boundary, this weak front from the north as we step into the day tomorrow. So we'll have to keep an eye on the chance for a few showers. It is warm out there, 83 degrees right now, humidity pinned at 70%, wind from the northwest at 5 knots. Water temp is at 84. It's very comfortable out there. Good boating weather. On the inside, we have 1 foot or less for our wave height, so it's basically flat at times. On the outside, we have 1 to 3 foot waves rolling around out there. Not that bad at all. No marine-related warnings, obviously, with decent boating weather like this. High tide was just recently at 4:42 this afternoon in the rearview mirror. Looking ahead, low tide will be coming up at 11:20 tonight. The tide comes back up at 5:03 Tuesday morning, and then it heads back out at midday. That's an 11:24 Tuesday late morning low tide. So tonight, look out for a shower or two late. They're not going to be long lasting, but there may be a few brief showers that roll in, and they'll be in the neighborhood on Tuesday as well. They'll be real slim, though, so just a passing shower or two. We don't expect much from this little system. Highs around 83 degrees with more cloud cover. And here you can see what's going on. We'll be watching this little increase in moisture. And by the way, here's our bigger storm system way out there to the east. And as that kind of pulls the flow in from the northwest, we may see a brief shower tomorrow tied to this weak front. There's not much to it, but that's our main influence in tomorrow's forecast. As we look at the gateway forecast, Toronto, thunderstorms. New York, look out for some scattered storms on Tuesday night. Most of the daytime hours look warm and humid, but generally dry. Same story for Boston. It's hot there. Storms possible on Tuesday night in Boston. Atlanta, Miami, scattered storms. London is hot as well. 88 scattered thunderstorms there. Down into the Caribbean, scattered thunderstorms and showers possible in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad. We are watching that area of low pressure way out to the east, hundreds of miles, almost 1,000 miles away. And there's a small chance that it could become a tropical system, but it will not be very meaningful, not going to be a memorable one. Most likely, it probably won't even reach true tropical storm status. So spotty showers Tuesday, drier Wednesday and Thursday. We stay consistently warm. The next better opportunity for showers and maybe even a thunderstorm rolls in on Friday. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wouldn't to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane, actually, the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care. And because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
This is Rick Blomquist of De Pere, Wisconsin. His life is pretty comfortable. He lives in a comfy home, wears comfortable shoes. He even has a comfortable job. Rick Blomquist thought he had comfort all figured out. But then he laid on a Certa and realized his life was only just sorta comfortable. The new Certa iComfort Hybrid Mattress. Not just sorta comfortable, Certa comfortable.
Feel the difference a good night's sleep can make. Exclusively available at Dreams, Bermuda's only mattress gallery.
And take it for the Cats!
Welcome back. Motorcades rounded the island over the weekend, celebrating Somerset's innings and 34-run victory over St. George's in the 116th Classic at SCC. Cup holder Somerset won the toss and scored a massive 378 for 9. St. George's replied with 121 all out and 223. The oldest spectator at the Classic was 102-year-old Brownlow Place, and he has good advice for those seeking long life.
Exercise is good. Walking, I think, is one of the best because you don't accept yourself too much. You go along with the pace of your movement and you can concentrate more. But today it's quite different because the traffic is heavier. Yes. I see people walking and looking behind, traffic coming behind them, traffic coming in front of them, but I exercise and walk in clear water. There's no traffic at all, very little traffic. So I can concentrate more. I walk according to my feelings. My feeling is in my pace of walking. Yes. And when I feel a bit tired, I just ease up a bit. When I get my strength back again, I'm on the move again. So you must watch yourself. You walk every day? Most every day. I haven't done so much this year, because this year the weather has been not so sporty, and not always I feel like it, but I do go. I never want to force myself. I let the body control me. There was a time when my mind controlled my body, but now is the time when my body is controlling my mind. So I move accordingly.
So your advice to others is exercise, walk, yes, with a clear mind.
Yes.
And keep God in your life.
Oh yes. When I say keep God in your mind, if you think right, you will act right, because you act according to your thinking. Yeah. So always have God before you. And another thing I find out, you must get self out of you, because self is your biggest enemy. That is within you. Self? Yes, self. Must get that out of you.
Now, Earl Baisden has tonight's sports package.
Bermuda's under-15 women's national team took to the field in Florida earlier today to take on Antigua in the CONCACAF under-15 World Cup qualifiers.
Bermuda took a 2-0 lead into the halftime break, with Chechele Durling scoring in the 16th minute when her right-footed shot went under the Antiguan goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Marley Butterfield doubled the lead in the 28th minute when she chipped the goalkeeper from inside the box. Antigua would get on the scoreboard in the 63rd minute to make it 2-1, but 5 minutes later, Adia Gibbons would ride a tackle
tackle and was able to steady herself and score to the goalkeeper's left to make the final score 3-1. Now that the dust has settled on the 2018 annual Cup Match Classic that saw the Somerset Cricket Club defeat St. George's Cricket Club by an inning and 34 runs, ZBM Sports can now bring you some of the facts from the match. Somerset openers Terran Frey and Christopher Douglas now have their names on top of the Cup Match partnership record books with a record first wicket partnership. The pair put on 153, which tops the 143 partnership between St. George's pair Wendell Smith and Arnold Manders, who set that back in 1991. The inning and 34-run victory by the Somerset Cricket Club was only their third, while the St. George's Cricket Club have registered 6 of their own. Somerset Cricket Club's victory was the 5th largest in Cup Match history. A 9th wicket partnership between St. George's Cricket Club pair Onias Bascom and Zico Burgess of 97 runs fell one short of the best partnership for that wicket by 1 run, which is held by another St. George's pair, Alan Douglas Sr. and Clarkie Trott, who scored 98 back in 1990. A total of 722 runs were scored over the 2 days in 184.2 overs, with 29 wickets falling. 1 century was made with Onias Bascom from St. George's Cricket Club scoring 101. 2 Somerset Cricket Club batsmen scored in the 90s as Stephen Utterbridge scored 92 and Terran Frey scored 90. Somerset Cricket Club's Dion Stovall was the top wicket taker, claiming a total of 7 wickets in the 2 innings, with Malachi Jones taking 5. When the dust settled in Colombia at the conclusion of the Central American and Caribbean Games, Bermuda finished 19th in the medal table. Bermuda captured 2 silver and 1 bronze medal during the games. Standing on the podium for Bermuda were Noah Brown and Micah Franklin from squash, bowlers Rakai Binns, David Maycock, and Damian Matthews, while Tyrone Smith from track and field. Bermuda chef de mission John Beard was extremely proud of what the athletes were able to accomplish.
A couple of things that really hit home for me, and one is the quality of the competition. And obviously you're up against the top Central American countries like Mexico, Venezuela, Panama. I mean, Mexico's population is 126 million, it's twice as big as Britain. And so we're going up against these large countries, and we do remarkably well. We've punched above our weight. We've had some great results. But I think at home we have to be sure that we understand that we're putting our athletes into a real hotbed of sport, which is great. And I think we would all just like to see that more of our athletes can achieve the level needed to compete in this.
Tyler Butterfield finished second in the Ironman 70.3 Asia Pacific Championships. Butterfield clocked a time of 3 hours, 47 minutes and 39 seconds in a very impressive professional field. Butterfield completed the swim in 25:29 before clocking a time of 2:03:41 on the bike course. Butterfield would then close out with a time of 1:14:42 on the run course. Tyler Smith competed in the Lima Chemtri Sprint Triathlon America's Cup in Peru yesterday. 4 days after a remarkable performance in Colombia at the CAC Games, in which Smith finished 6th. He was on the start line for this event. Smith would again finish 6th. He was in the lead pack, but unfortunately he had a crash on the bike, which caused a mechanical and sent him back into the chase pack. It was a section of the tile on the course where nearly everyone went down on the first lap. It was just unlucky that it also damaged his bike, so he had to take time to get back on. Gillian Teixeira and Tyler Lopes concluded competing in the Flanders International Horse Jumping event in the Netherlands. The pair competed in only 1 class on the day. Lopes finished 24th, competing in the 1.30 meter Table A in 2 phases class. Riding Emma Rula, the pair clocked a first phase clear time of 45:37, but their second phase saw them clock a time of 43:92, but they had 11 penalty for points. Teixeira and Eluna Di Cantero finished 25th in the same class. This after they finished the first and only phase in the time of 44:07, but they had 4 penalty for points. Jair Mitchell concluded competing in the Loretta Lynn's U.S. Amateur National Motocross Championships. Mitchell finished 5th in the Pro Open Sports class, with finishes of 5th, 6th, and 8th in the 3 motos held in the class. Mitchell would then finish 7th in the 250A class, which also held 3 motos. Mitchell crossed the line 17th, 8th, and 6th in the races. Ben Smith was back in action at the Hampal Sailing World Championships in Denmark. Smith, competing in the Laser Fleet, remains in 152nd place with 229 net points after 6 races. Smith finished 43rd in the first race of the day and 5th of the series yesterday before finishing 49th in race 2. Sean Trott competed in the Lee Valley Velopro Park Half Marathon in the UK. Trott finished third in a time of 1:19.24.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Well, that's all from the team this evening. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you back here tomorrow night, same time, same place. Good night.